Welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about relentless funnel optimization. What I want you to do is find your bottleneck with your traffic channels, with the places where you engage your customer and generate leads and where you actually are converting them to real customers. We're going to take a look at 6 examples that are going to show you like the way we approach this, the way we think about continuously optimizing what we are trying in our everyday life as growth marketer, because we want to become better. We need to find that bottleneck completely destroyed to keep on going. This is not just growth for growth's sake. Anybody who has something significant to share in the world and wants a lot of people to get to know about it, have a lot of impact, but also profits, should be continuously thinking about what is holding me back right now. That is the first step. Then second, what are actual concrete ideas that I can apply that have a very high probability to release that bottleneck? And the third step is to execute those most promising ideas and not just get bogged down in the day-to-day life of our busy work. All right, then I would say let's open up the Miro board. As mentioned in the beginning, you can download this board for yourself, copy it at pirateskills.com/relentless. I have it open here on my iPad and we head over there now. Let's switch over here. You can see that we got this beautiful Miro board where we got a couple of interesting parts to it. The main thing is, of course, this part, relentless funnel optimization, but we also give you access to our A/B testing blueprint that you can use. You can watch the video for that and learn more about that in detail. But we'll mention it in the end when it comes to the point of implementation. If you want to copy this board, you already see that the arrow is pointing to the top left. If you just hit on the title, it just says like you can duplicate this and then you have a free version of it in your own Miro account, which is a free software with some limitations. But for this, it's going to be just fine. Let's look at this board. Why did I choose those 3 areas like traffic, engagement, and conversion? My brain works completely in this customer journey filter that I have. I always imagine our job being that we have to get people aware of our products and services, get them to a website or our mobile app, commit them a little bit, like a free trial, an email sign up, nurture those people, convert them to paying customers, and keep them as paying customers that are even more likely to give us referrals. So this kind of throughput of how many customers I can get through that customer journey, I would say, is my main job as a growth marketer. And so the 3 stages are, to me, traffic, the beginning, engagement, the middle, and conversion, the end of that funnel. In my work with my own products and with the teams I'm working with, I continuously hear pretty similar problems and bottlenecks. And the most frequent 6 I wanted to share with you today. So let's look into traffic. Traffic means I need to get people on my website. I always share a B2C and one B2B example. The B2C example is usually like this. Yeah, Ben, Facebook ads, Instagram ads have become way too expensive in the past couple of months. And I'm sure you have noticed that as well. And they asked me like, okay, what can we actually do about that? They kind of look at their conversion numbers, which is already great, but I always tell them, you have to check what is happening before and when people click, because this is where stuff got expensive. And the 3 numbers I say that should be checked are CPM, which is like this value here, where you see how much do you pay for 1,000 impressions of your ads. CTR, which is this one here, is the percentage of people clicking on your ad, and the resulting CPC, how much did you pay per click? If you need to convert people to your email list for less than €2, which is absolutely doable in the B2C world, if you're already paying €2 for the click, you do not need to figure out what's wrong with your landing page. You need to solve that problem on the ad platform. And it doesn't matter if it's like Facebook ads or Google ads or TikTok ads. Those metrics are all the same across the platforms. Just the benchmark of what is a good and a bad number is different. So the first example was this ad I had running for the growth marketing index, which did not perform well. Just had a simple animation on it, no explainer, and I spent some money on it. You can see here it's like 6 campaigns, and we have enough money spent. I would say you can already see these kinds of numbers solidly after you spend €100. But here we see, for example, we spent €500. Oh, it's syncing. Let's see what Miro is having in store for us tonight. You can see that you have like 60,000 impressions, which means for €500, 63,000 times the ad was shown. And that cost me €7.86. That's actually a good number. My benchmark for social ads is usually to keep it below €10 in expensive countries like Germany, UK, Western Europe, and cheaper in, for example, in Italy or Spain, but more expensive in the US. Let's give Miro a chance to actually reload. So the CPM, this is where it can already fail. You can see that even with those campaigns, I sometimes only pay €4.75, which is super cheap. Sometimes I'm paying €11. This is like 2.5 times more expensive just in the reach than the lower example. And I need to find out what was the reason. They were all conversion campaigns. Yeah, so that is not the reason. So if you have a campaign that is optimized for reach, you get way cheaper CPMs naturally. But if they are all in the same type of ad or campaign, that should be comparable. And what usually happens if your ad is performing really well, that means a lot of people click on it, Facebook/Meta will give you cheaper reach. Yeah, imagine you would be Mark Zuckerberg advertising. Would you want your platform to be swamped by ads that are just not engaging? Or would you like to reward advertisers to actually create good ads? And this is what's happening very often here as well. Let's look further to the right. Now we get a couple of clicks. That's people clicking on the call to action button and leaving the page. There are a bit more precise variants like outbound link clicks, but for us, that's good enough. How many people actually click on the button, go to your website, and that results in a price. You can see that all of those numbers, like here's like €1.60, €2.31, some that are barely below €1, that they all suffer from one major problem, which is awful click-through rates. My benchmark for click-through rates is to have at least 1% click-through. Of course, it's a mixture of who's going to see the ad or the targeting and what they're actually seeing. But on Meta, what's working really well is very broad targeting and then focusing on the creative and doing a really good job and getting it to a high click-through rate there. With click-through rates below 1%, I always pay a lot of money. Just compare those two graphs. The top is like the bad situation and the bottom is the good situation. Here we have maybe 0.5 on average, and here we have above 2%. This is the same ad account. It's just different creatives. We improved the targeting, but mostly the ads, and got click-through rates 2 and 3%, which results in way cheaper clicks. Here at the top, we maybe have like €1.80 on average, and down here we maybe have 0.6%. That is a third. But just because the click-through rate is way better, and we can improve our click-through rate mostly by optimizing our creatives. Of course, we have to do our best with who is going to see that creative, that kind of fits. But Meta has become so good at managing that for us, who's actually seeing that I highly recommend primarily working on the creative. And one creative, the one with a 3% click-through rate, is, for example, this one at the lower left. It's nothing special, but once I click play, you will see that there is a really nice animation just from Canva. Yeah, nothing that I bought like for 10,000 euro to get this animation, but this was seemingly such a strong signal for people to, wow, this is engaging. This makes me curious what is happening there, that I highly recommend testing out a lot of creatives, getting the right hook that grabs people's attention. This one was not it. This was too boring. This seemed to be very interesting. And you can test a dozen creatives with 200 euros and see where do you have the highest click-through rate. And I tell you, there's a very high probability that with a higher click-through rate, you get cheaper CPMs, which get you cheaper clicks, which get you cheaper conversions. At the end of the day, I'm aware, I know that the cheapest cost per acquisition, or even better, the highest return of advertising spend, is overruling anything in terms of like cost per click and click-through rate. Yeah, if the ad is profitable, I will not complain. But when stuff is not going well, it's very, very, very often this cause. So check your click-through rates, check your CPMs and the resulting CPC. If you even get to a click price that can actually do the job for you of generating leads, of generating sales. Very often the click prices these days have become so high that it's not worth it. And the easiest way to fix this is focus on better creatives. So this is my B2C example of a situation where I have identified a bottleneck. Oh shit, social media ads have become too expensive. And one concrete action, work on the creative part, make it more animating, figure out the right hook. And the key metric I use to keep track of that, and which would be the click-through rate, and of course the later conversion costs and return of advertising spends. Now, not all of us are doing social ads. Lots of us are doing B2B. And what we often do in B2B marketing, we are researching leads and we are contacting them, for example, on LinkedIn. Those people we call our prospects. Yeah, they're companies that are a really good fit and people in job positions that tend to like what we are doing and that tend to buy because other people in similar positions, in similar companies bought our product as well. So what often happens is you can write here, this is my own sales navigator, rewrite to a lot of people, invite them to the upcoming events. And what we see is at the top is that all the messages were, the last message was from us. This was the introductory message. So nobody answered, which is super annoying. You sent them a request, they accept it or not, and they're just not responding. And that is a very frequent complaint that I heard, that this is the bottleneck in traffic generation or lead generation for B2B businesses. One positive example here looks like this. It essentially says like, hey, I'm Ben, I'm a nerdy marketer, founder of pirateskills. I would like to invite you to a live stream on June 1st. This is today, yeah? Then Benjamin says, hey, looks good. I'm gonna check it out. And I say, thank you, looking forward to it. One change increased the number of responses greatly. We used to send people over to our own website. Yeah, and this is not a mistake, but something that I see done very frequently. Here's my website, and I usually used to send people directly to the Relentless funnel optimization landing page. Let me open that for you. It's pirateskills.com/relentless. And people are being sent here, and then they can click on this call to action button. And as I said, like first name, email, password, do the double opt-in stuff, and the email newsletter subscription and the data privacy policy. And then they register, they get full access to everything. These were a couple of steps. First of all, I needed to move them away from LinkedIn to this website. They check out this page that you can either like or not like. I like them by now very much. By the way, this is the YouTube embed link that should be working like right now while we are talking. But people still have to put in their name, their email, and their password. Remember, we are connecting people that have not been in touch with us beforehand. They are not our current connections, but new people we are trying to connect. They are prospects. So the change we did was the following. First of all, we started to send the link to the LinkedIn event. Not to our own landing page, but we created a LinkedIn event. You might even be watching on this LinkedIn event right now. And what they get is this beautiful preview that looks way more authentic. You just send the link in a message, and it gives you like the complete post to that link, the description. It shows you how many followers that page has. It looks so native to the platform, while your own link always looks a bit like, oh yeah, this guy is trying to spam me, trying to get me off here, convert me to some kind of demo call or webinar. But putting a really native looking link with a beautiful preview in here, it had a way higher engagement rate and response rate. And people start writing me more often back like, hey, this sounds super interesting. And people sign up more. And then I discovered something even more exciting. And this maybe leads us to another lesson about this. Check out this event that happened last month. Now, what you can see here is that in the same message I sent like a month ago, if the live stream actually happened, people see in the LinkedIn Messenger inbox the video running. I was not aware that this was even possible, but what LinkedIn is doing right now is really optimizing for keeping people on their own platform. And this was something that absolutely surprised me. So this is just how it natively looks on desktop in the LinkedIn Messenger. If you send people to a LinkedIn event that is connected to a live stream and that happened in the past. So imagine people did not react to my message like Benjamin did here. What I could be doing is after the event, tell them, I hope you enjoyed this. I put the recording up there. You can see it in the last message. But by the way, here's the YouTube link, and there you can get all of the downloads and resources, which increases the credibility that you have. Now you've become way more authentic and likely for people to act on it. In the context of prospects not responding, 99% of cases, it's a lack of trust. People are annoyed by so many people connecting them on LinkedIn, cold emailing them, wanting something from them. Giving them something first, proving that is of value and of high quality. And then asking the people who are engaging if they want to deepen that relationship and maybe have a demo call, asking them maybe how you can support them with their problems. That is the way to increase the response rate of prospects on any platform. I just wanted to keep it super concrete with one example from the LinkedIn world, which is at the moment just exploding for sales. All right, so this is how I solve 2 examples of traffic bottlenecks. Now, all well and good. People now click. They now tell you, okay, I'm interested. I'm signing up for that webinar. I'm getting interested. But now the next problem usually comes up. On the B2C end, you usually send people to a landing page. And we complain like, oh shit, my landing page just does not convert. Like, what can I do? Let's take a look at this landing page. And this is a typical landing page. Actually, this is one of my best performing landing pages, but even the best performing landing page still has a lot of room for improvement. Yeah, maybe let me open that up in the browser so we can see it for real. I usually have those handy shortcuts like pirateskills.com/map, which leads you to that landing page. And again, we can check out the UX elements, the conversions happening in a pop-up with first name, email, password. checkbox, checkbox, unlock. And then they get immediate access. And if they want the newsletter, they get some double opt-in. What we have here is already like pretty decent. We have the video recording already embedded. It's a short version of the video. It's not the complete version. So people are interested in not just consuming the video, but actually getting more access to the full version. But look at this. This was a decent idea at the time. Do you need ideas for Clubhouse, the Clubhouse content plan? But Clubhouse is just fucking dead. In my world, I'm sorry, if there are like some Clubhouse gurus listening, please tell us how this is working. But in my world, Clubhouse is not such a thing anymore. This is irrelevant content that maybe gives people the impression that this is out-of-date content. That would be right. So I need to kick this off this landing page. But this thing here, for example, want to record better videos, leveling up your conference cred, that is the right thing to do. But the problem here is that this video is not about leveling up your conference cred, but the introduction to the customer journey map. So even though this page is my best performing one, I immediately saw two obvious problems to it. And I hope, that gives you an example that everybody can find those kind of problems on their website. But today, I want to show you another aspect you should focus on when your landing page doesn't convert. What I recommend is to really track for the traffic source, not just the landing page. Because if you look into your Google Analytics, let's do this here. Here under behavior, site content, landing pages, you get to see your most popular landing pages on your website. You can see the URL here in the beginning. And the one we just looked at was number 4. We had 128 people here, and there were a lot of new users, and they stayed a very long time on this page, like 6 minutes on average. Maybe they watched the video on it, but it's way above average compared to the rest of the landing pages. And there is actually a 19% probability from the people in the past. If they land on the landing page, they become what I call a new pirate, which is my conversion event here at the top, which is somebody registering. And so we've got 25 people here, just from the 125 people that went to this page. Now this is, if I just look at the landing pages, this is my highest converting landing page. But now let's look at the traffic sources that led traffic to my website, that's leading traffic to my website, and still look at the new pirates conversion event. Now you get to this beautiful graph. By the way, those 2 pages are my favorites on the old Google Universal Analytics. If you think I should be doing an event about the new Google Analytics 4, let me know. I'll do that. So here we go to acquisition, all traffic, source, medium, my favorite report out of the box from Google Analytics 4. Here we see where people are actually coming from. And I conveniently sorted it by number of pirates, number of conversion goals from top to bottom here. So most people come from direct none. Nothing much I can do about that. Lots of people are typing in the domain pirateskills.com. But what I can do is, for example, make sure that they are not also people who are just not being tracked. And I can try to reduce that. But what is highly interesting is what is happening with YouTube. Here, let's zoom in. YouTube has 590 users sent to this website. And if we scroll over, it has from all of the traffic sources across all landing pages, not just the content and story thing, has the highest conversion rate of almost 12%. So if anybody comes from YouTube, there is an 11.8% percentage of them becoming a pirate and becoming a lead therefore, and being a potential candidate for follow-up. And this is like 2 to 3 times as high as the other sources. So you always have to be aware that different traffic sources on the same landing page have extremely different conversion rates on your website. So make sure that you always check that your traffic sources are like fixed. The best traffic source to check out is like either direct none or Google organic if you have a lot of traffic from there, or traffic from the same ad campaign. And then you make the comparisons between two versions of the same landing page. The traffic source very often has the highest impact on the conversion rate besides what's actually on the landing page. And people just focus on what's on the landing page, but not where are people coming from to that landing page. And those two reports from Google Analytics might give you insight which landing page in general is doing the best for you and which of the traffic sources is doing the best, so you can increase your focus on the traffic sources that are actually converting. So this is why I'm here on YouTube, yeah, and working for it to grow. And if you're there already, leave a sub and leave a comment. That would be super appreciated. All right, that's good, all in good for the B2C world, but I think it also very much applies for B2B companies that are having like events and webinars to sign up, or PDFs to download, or white papers, stuff like that. And thankfully, a lot of B2B companies have started doing that. Now, let's look at this very specific example of the frequent complaint I hear of my webinar, online event, whatever signups have become too expensive. And again, let's look into the LinkedIn world for the B2B examples and what happens with LinkedIn ads when you play it this way or that way. It's very similar to the problem and solution we saw with the non-responding prospects, yeah, that we were messaging to. Now, as I said, I used to send people through conversion campaigns on LinkedIn to this landing page. People could sign up on the website. Let's look at the results. Here we have a couple of campaigns. You can see the ad spend, like 250, 460 euros here, and that I have very sparse conversions, like people actually converting on the website. I'm paying 100 to 200 euro per lead if I want to have this conversion happening on my own landing page. We are talking about like pretty much the same goal, like signing people up for the same webinar. Once you try to convert them on the website, and you can already see where this is dying. Like 155 euro for 16 clicks, it's 10 euro per click. I usually have a goal of signing up people for less than 10 euros. So how am I supposed to do that if even the click is doing that? What has also been an insight from the social ads perspective is to keep it more engaging. And from the second part is to keep people on the platform. What is the corresponding solution or idea here is to either do it in a LinkedIn lead form. These are ads that just pop up a pre-filled form like this one here for our upcoming event, No Map, No Treasure, on July 6th. You can join that as well if you like. And you can see here that already the name, the last name, the job title, and the company name, all is pre-filled. And I can add my 2 checkboxes here for data privacy newsletters. The only thing that they can change is the email address. Lots of people on LinkedIn have their personal email. If they want to put in their professional email because it's a better fit for something like that, then they can do that. The advantage is now that people do not have to leave LinkedIn and everything is pre-filled out. You can also do this with LinkedIn events. Some of you who are listening right now have come through the LinkedIn event, and you also saw that when you clicked on the attend button, that also a pop-up very similar to this one showed up. It was a bit different, but it still gave me the complete data set, like name, job title, company, and ask you whether or not you want to get emails or not. Again, this is way cheaper to convert than getting people off LinkedIn. And here you can see the example. Here we have lead ads. You can see that from the result being a lead. Here we pay 15 euro per lead, 19 euros, 6 euros, 6 euro. Much, much, much more fun than paying like $100 for a lead. Same quality of lead, just a different customer journey. And what I think is most relevant, respecting that the platforms do not want people to leave the platform. Yeah, again, the example, imagine you're the founder of LinkedIn. Do you want people to, advertisers to let people go of the platform to their websites? Or would you prefer those advertisers were even paying for people to engage continuously on LinkedIn? Amazingly, that is, of course, the platform wants people to stay. Let's respect that. Let's take that as a hypothesis and see if this is actually cheaper. Test that. If you're doing LinkedIn ads, or if you're doing any kind of even non-paid promotion, converting people away from LinkedIn compared to keeping people on LinkedIn. In 90% of cases, keeping people on LinkedIn will give you better results. This is true for Facebook, for Instagram, for LinkedIn, for TikTok, for any platform at the moment, with a couple of examples of platforms that just do not care as much. That would be, for example, Pinterest or Google Search, which is absolutely meant to get people away from Google to a website. Those are the two most frequent complaints I hear, like in the middle of the funnel, like landing page doesn't convert, or webinar signups have become way too expensive when I pay for that. Now let's get to the last part, actually converting leads of visitors to customers. In e-commerce, we call this our e-commerce conversion rate. Yeah, this one here at the top. That means I have a visitor on my page. What is the probability that they sign up? And an obvious thing to do is to study the cart abandonments. Here is one of the teams I'm working with, Kinwire. They produce those beautiful weighted ropes that they sell, and they have this movement training called rope flow that they teach. And they send people to the website, and now those people have a chance to convert. But what if we are unsatisfied with the conversion rate? Let's say it started like in March at 8%, and then it just dropped down over time. We increased the traffic. What can we do to actually get that conversion rate back up? One of the techniques I use for any of those funnel bottleneck problems is to look into database research that tells me okay, those are the most frequent problems that have occurred. Lots of other marketers have talked about this already. And here I found a study that I also linked up here in the top right. If you click on this icon in the top right, you will be sent to the source of this graph. And what you can see, that extra costs are too high, like shipping costs are the major thing that we should be changing. Or the site wants me to create an account. I remember how annoyed I am if I cannot just do a guest checkout. Or the delivery is only in a couple of weeks and not when I actually want it. We are so pampered by platforms like Amazon delivering us stuff on the same day or tomorrow. I don't trust them with the credit card information. Maybe we could use a payment provider like PayPal, where people already have trust in. Too long and complicated checkouts. Damn, that is something I see very frequently. But people then change it to a single page setup, and then they do multi-step again. But I haven't seen many companies actually really looking, does this increase the conversion rate significantly over time? Is version A or B better? This kind of discipline, is what I mean by relentless funnel optimization. But the idea here is to research reasons that other people have mentioned before, where ideally the platform have created some kind of studies already based on our other customers and our shop platforms. Shopify does that a lot, for example. We have seen these most frequently mentioned problems, and this is how we solve them. Look into research, and that gives you idea for concrete action steps that you can then prioritize and put in your testing pipeline. Well, that's e-commerce. Now let's look at our last example for tonight. Sales says the leads are bad. Yeah, the first thing you need to show those people is the leads are weak. Yeah, it's this great skit from a TV show with Alec Baldwin. It's amazing. Just show them this video, or better even the complete movie, where he complains that not the leads are weak, the salespeople are weak. But still, we at marketing, we also have the ambition to create as many high qualified leads as possible. What we tend to do is to create just a long ass list of leads in some kind of spreadsheet. By the way, those are not real email addresses. And we just hand it over to sales. It's like, yeah, here, just call them from A to Z, or in the order we collected them. And then they complain because they look into their HubSpot or Pipedrive or ActiveCampaign tool, and they see 500 leads, 0 conversions to opportunities or to customers. And they say, the leads are weak. All right, let's help them out. One of the ways is to sort them for the salespeople. Smart salespeople already do that by themselves. They look at the lead of the list, at the list of the leads, and look and they recognize companies that they would really like to work with. What I tend to do, and this is what I needed to heavily anonymize this is my lead scoring pipeline. And you can see at the top here are our weakest leads, 0 to 20 points. I don't even put them on any kind of deal list, but this goes up to 100 plus. Those are the leads that have shown the highest engagement, the best promise, the best customer fit. And I automatically put them in this deal pipeline and applied something that we call lead scoring. And what I tell sales is to, of course, start from the right and move to the left. It doesn't make sense to randomly call those people. The highest engaged people should be called first, and the most recent highest converting people should be called first, of course. And now people can move from the more likely to the less likely leads. I'm not saying that the biggest deal might not be exactly here. I don't know that. I just say the probability of the highest conversions and best volume of sales lies in that bracket. And then you move from there to here and so on. And then your sales pipeline might start to look something like that. All of those leads coming in now start to convert to opportunities. Opportunities are usually generated when a salesperson actually talked to people, considered them a qualified candidate, and they actually get an idea of the value of that opportunity. Yeah, and then they create that in the sales CRM. And then over time, you can see how more and more out of those leads become opportunities. And out of those opportunities, we generate customers. And you can keep track of the conversion rates, yeah, with these steps. The leads might actually be the same. But first of all, now they get them in a sorted way. And the second thing is we in marketing can start studying those leads with the highest lead scores, see where they actually came from, what kind of attributes they have, and how we can create twins of those best leads that have converted the quickest with the highest volume. And that way, sales will be way happier with the leads that they get from marketing. All right, so those are the 6 examples. I have this Miro board here at pirateskills.com/relentless. If you click here, of course, then you already are on the board, but we also put in the slides from today, so you can maybe share it with a colleague. The recording will be nicely edited, and the Miro board will be linked if you want to share that with other people as well. So now we have seen 6 examples, and the question becomes, how do I sort all of my ideas? Now I identified a bottleneck, let's say in the traffic area, I generate a lot of ideas. How do you do that? We tend to use something like this, a little spreadsheet that tells us all of our ideas. And we just put them in order of probability, where we think, oh yeah, this is likely to convert, this is not likely to convert. And you just put them in order, agree with your team, like, okay, this has the highest chance, and you keep track of the results we have here. We also have additional resources down below, how you can set up A/B testing environments for yourself if you actually tend to make changes on your website or on your email marketing, and systems to statistically validate, is this really a significant change or not? And the resources I tend to read if I want to really get into that topic. All right, I hope this was already valuable to you. If it was, then at least leave us a sub on YouTube and join us at pirateskills.com/relentless. So this is the end of one series. We always have like 6 topics that go together. The last 6 topics were about idea validation and proving what's working, and this mindset of relentless funnel optimization. But from next month on, for the rest of this year, we start a new series that I would love to invite you to. The new series starts on July 6th, and it's called Product X. We want to take you along on a journey where you are in the situation of, I need to grow the revenue and profits and the impact of one product out of your portfolio. Where we start at the very beginning, where we say like, no map, no treasure. If you don't have a clear growth roadmap, a plan that takes you from A to B, there are very little chances that you will actually get there. Like, you can start doing random stuff, but if you know where the treasure lies, you can chart a course there. And this is what the first event is going to be about. Then, once we have decided on a product and a way to approach this, we tend to need to go back to the drawing board, see how do we actually communicate that product and service in a way that is meaningful and with content that actually resonates with people, that puts them at the center of attention, not positioning us as heroes, but let them be the legends, let them be the heroes, which is then part of the next step of giving value first before we ask for that. Building marketing funnels have become like a bad reputation for some reason, because only the scammiest of people have great setups, but it's bullshit. It's not the setup that's the problem. It's the people that tend to use them. If you have a very important product for the world, then please make use of the same mechanics, but fill it with value, build trust, and then ask people for the sale. After that, we will talk about keeping an eye on the North Star, where we show you how to measure your progress towards your goal with web analytics, sales analytics, but also just a very common spreadsheet that you can look at on a weekly basis and helps you to see, like, are we still guided by our North Star, our growth goal that we decided on during our no map, no treasure session. And then if we have that set up, we can go full force, no half measures, drive more and more profitable traffic or prospecting and lead generation in B2B. And then the last part is the awareness, what we did today, very similar to that we have leaks, that not all of our funnel steps are perfect. There's always way to improve, to increase impact and profit. If that sounds great to you, join us. The first link, I believe, is pirateskills.com/no-map. I hope you enjoy this next half year with Pirate Skills. That's it for tonight. Love to see you guys in the real world really soon again. I'm saying bye-bye.